So Mika, we've been talking a lot about the last week of the election. It's really a toss-up. I don't care what Republicans say. I don't care what Democrats say. It is still a toss-up. And as we've been saying, a lot of how next week goes depends on how the president is seen handling issues like Ebola and ISIS and a lot. Yesterday, certainly the general feeling is that he dropped the ball again on Ebola.
Well, we'll see. This morning, there's definitely in his comments, there's still a lot of unanswered questions about how to deal with Americans potentially exposed to Ebola. President Obama is making it clear he doesn't support measures taken by a handful of governors, including Chris Christie, to quarantine health workers returning from West Africa. He did, however, seem to support tougher rules for members of the military who are deployed to countries where the virus is spreading. He says the nation's troops are accustomed to more restrictive conditions.
We got to make sure that those workers who are willing and able and dedicated to go over there in a really tough job, that they're applauded, thanked, and supported. The military is in a different situation, obviously, because they are, first of all, not treating patients. Second of all, they are not there voluntarily. It's part of their mission that's been assigned to them by their commanders and ultimately by me, the commander-in-chief.
Mark Alpern, it's hard to figure out exactly what the President of the United States is saying there. First of all, he's condemning Chris Christie and Andrew Cuomo for a policy that his own government's implementing. And when asked why, he says, well, because they weren't treating patients. Actually, that would mean that there would be less of a need to quarantine them. And it seemed like, again, there were two standards there from a president who at the same time was saying we must make all decisions about quarantining and about handling Ebola based on science. This has nothing to do with science. It has nothing to do with medicine. It looks like the president, once again, was caught in yet another inconsistency. I'm not knocking the president. I'm just stunned. We still can't get a consistent policy on any of these things.
It seems pretty clear, both politically and substantively, as much as the president likes to cling always to being rational and science, as you suggested, sometimes in the face of a crisis, going slow, methodical, rational, science-based is not necessarily the best thing. It still seems to me there needs to be a clear federal policy that the states are consulted on and buy into, and there still needs to be a leader of this movement. We now know that Ron Klain was not supposed to be a czar. He's an internal facilitator and coordinator. I think there still needs to be a federal leader of this effort that would reassure the states and the public that this is both a rational policy and an aggressive policy that puts public safety first.
Yeah, Sam Stein, the inconsistencies continue.
Yeah. Well, you know, on the one hand, there's inconsistencies within the states. Different states are adopting different quarantine policies. Then you have the inconsistency within the federal government, whether it's, you know, what DOD is doing versus what CDC is doing. Which, of course,
the states, each state, you would expect the states to have a different standard. You wouldn't expect the federal government.
Yeah, so the CDC came out with guidelines 2 days ago, and they were fairly strict, but not as strict as certain states are going. And my point, the way I view it is this, is that everyone is going to adopt their own guidelines to this policy within the states. Every one of them is understandable in their own right. There's points to be taken what the president's saying in terms of trying to not discourage medical personnel from going over to West Africa. That's a big problem for this government. But yeah, I think you're right. There should be some uniformity to these standards. It's getting a little confusing out there.
Well, at least on the federal level, I'm talking specifically between what the president's saying and what the military is doing.
But this is what I'm getting from the White House, which is that they're tackling two problems. One is they need to reassure the public that it's not this huge panic. Ebola is not this huge panic. There's still only one person who's infected with Ebola currently in the United States. And secondly, they need to encourage healthcare workers to go to West Africa. And they're trying to grapple with those two problems and sort of thread a needle there when it comes to a quarantine policy.
I understand that. Still, though, what the president said yesterday is inconsistent with what the president's doing in his own government with the military.
There's a lot of inconsistencies, actually. Meanwhile, state officials in Maine say they will pursue legal action, if necessary, to enforce a home quarantine for nurse Casey Hickox. New Jersey Governor Chris Christie is using some of his toughest language yet to take on the CDC and those criticizing Hickox's treatment.
Now they're saying for high-risk people like healthcare workers, they can't go in public places, they can't go in public transportation, and they'd like them to work from home. Sounds like a quarantine to me, and it sounds like they just don't want to admit they were wrong.
It looks like you're going to have to defend this in court.
Well, whatever. Get in line. Been sued lots of times before. Get in line. I'm happy to take it on.
Governor, did you have any pause about the tent and those conditions?
No, listen, Kelly, the tent was inside a hospital. It's called an isolation tent because she needed to be isolated because she was suspected to have Ebola. So no, I had no concerns about it. And by the way, neither did the CDC, who was on the ground in University Hospital monitoring the conditions she was in. There all kinds of, malarkey, nicely, about this. She was inside the hospital in a climate-controlled area with access to her cell phone, access to the internet, and takeout food from the best restaurants in Newark. She was doing just fine.
Wow. Okay, digging in. We spoke with Mitt Romney, and he thought maybe that was a bridge too far.
Well, I think almost
call it
everybody,
a bubble.
Everybody in America thinks it was too far.
Do they?
Chris Christie is digging in, though. It's what he does. I think it would be very easy for him to say that maybe the officials there didn't handle it correctly. They put her in a tent. Coming back from West Africa, it was a bridge too far, and I think most Americans understand that. But if he wants to dig in, he can dig in. Very interesting, though. This nurse said she was going to go up to Maine, and then she was going to do whatever she wanted to do. And Maine said, "No, actually, you're not."
Yeah. So I don't think we're going to be seeing any photo ops with Casey Hickox and Chris Christie, like we saw with Nina Pham and the president hugging it out. On the back end of things.
And we're not going to see her in a bowling alley for the next 20 days or so.
Not anytime soon. But Sam, you make a great point, though, because West Africa is still looking for volunteers. Roughly, they need up to 5,000 people and an international community to come to help with the crisis that they're facing. So if there is a more multi-level approach to protocol and what it means on the back end, and the reality that there might be some type of 21-day stint for people to go into some type of quarantine. That is a reality.
And it is the most important thing, too, that we have to do, and a lot of Americans just not confident. Actually, that's not that bad. Somewhat, if you put this somewhat in there. But, here's the biggest challenge. We've got to send doctors to West Africa.
Sure.
We've got to send nurses to West Africa.
And
if you're going to go over there for 3 weeks and you're going to go over there for 4 weeks, and then you know that you've got to add 3 more weeks on it when you come back to the United States, which I think most Americans would support.
That's a hardship.
That's a hardship, and we have got to figure out, and I will say it again, and Mitt Romney said it to us last night.
Yeah.
If that means the federal government compensates them, that's fine. It is a false economy to say, oh, we don't have enough money to compensate people that go over to West Africa. Because you know what? We either take care of it in West Africa. I'll use the whole terrorism thing. It is the case here. We either take care of Ebola in West Africa, or we're going to have to be taking care of it on a much larger scale in Europe and in America.
Exactly. And I didn't say it eloquently enough last time, but what I was trying to get at is no matter what your quarantine policy is by state, there's going to be people who find it either too aggressive or not aggressive enough. There's no perfect quarantine policy. You can have a voluntary stay-at-home quarantine policy. You can have a mandatory tent policy.
I think Andrew Cuomo struck the right.
I think these things are moving and evolving for a reason, which is that the public opinion is evolving on as well. But you make the most valid point, which is that unless you're going to figure it out in West Africa, we'll never be 100% in the clear here. We have to solve the situation in West Africa, and we had to solve it 4 months ago. And we're dealing with our missteps right now.